Hi, I'm Deb, and this is One More Whip. I hope today finds you well and with a hook in your hand. I have a few things to show you today. First off, I finished the shawl I was working on last time I did a video. There wasn't much further to go, but it did do a couple of little rows. So I did make one more shawl, but I'm not going to be putting that one out there. I really liked making shawls, but I'm glad to be moving on to a different kind of project. I have another make to show you. You know what? I'll show you that in a little bit. I did do a little bit of shopping. I got a few goodies. I got a couple stitch markers from Rose. Anytime I mention somebody or a pattern, I'll link them below in the description box. But I've been looking at Rose's stitch markers for a while and finally just bit the bullet and got a few. So let's see here. I got this one. It's hard to, I don't know. Pictures just don't do them justice. If you've received any of these, you know what I'm saying. She does beautiful work. Another set here. I don't know if they're focusing well. It's hard for me because I wear readers, but even at this distance, I'll put readers on, so I'm not. All of it's a big blur to me, honestly. One more here to show you. I bought the other sets because they were beautiful. I bought this set because my oldest has been in the military now for about 11 years or so. And they were all just beautiful. I just wanted to share those with you. And I also got a couple project bags. And you might wonder why in the world I need project bags if I'm only working on one thing. But sometimes, like working with these shawls especially, the cakes would get like, you know how it is dealing with cakes. So these are pretty small, about 9 inches by 9 inches, as big as my hand. But I thought they were super cute. My husband was in the Navy, so I love anything anchors in this fabric. Love it. Turquoise and the red. I love turquoise and red together. Just love those colors. But today, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was just some tips in making something as a gift to give to somebody. This year, well, not just this year, I school my kids through a charter school in our town. And basically what that means is my kids are homeschooled with some extra classes, accountability, the record keeping, enrichment classes like gymnastics and things like that. So my kids go through a charter school, but I school them at home. And we have what's called a resource teacher. And this year, my grandson, who was in kindergarten, was put into that mix because of school closures. So this teacher had, I don't know how many students she had as a resource teacher, but she had my 3, and we're a handful. My kids need extra help, and that's one of the reasons we go through a charter school, is just because my kids had needs that weren't necessarily being met at the public school. So she's just an incredible teacher. She always went the extra mile for us, and she's been our resource teacher for 3 or 4 years now. So we have a relationship, And she's not just a great teacher, but she's just a lovely human being. So I knew that I was going to make her a blanket this year as an end of the year gift. And when I gave it to her, she was pretty stunned because she hadn't received anything like that before. And one of the things she kept saying was, "These are my colors. These are my colors." And she had a hard time understanding how in the world I knew those were her colors. And I just looked at her and I told her, I paid attention to the shirt you were wearing. And sometimes people don't think to do that. I was raised by a mom who was very aware. And my mom was good at paying attention to people. And I think I got that from her, just sort of paying attention. It's not necessarily something we do in our culture today. We're just, and I've talked about this in our busyness and our going and our doing and all of that, we see, but are we really paying attention? So I went on the hunt for these colors and I found them, and I was so glad because she was so glad. Those colors meant everything to her. Another thing about color is my Aunt Barb, when I was in my early 20s, she told me one time, my Aunt Barb's house was always so pretty. And she goes, Deb, she goes, decorate your house in the colors you would wear. Because those are the colors you love, and those are the ones you look good in. So in your home, you'll even be seen at your best, which was kind of lovely, because that's where we go and we put our schlubbies on. But it's extra special just to be surrounded by color that we love. And so when you're giving a gift, keep that in mind. Sort of start, if you're not already, I know a lot of us are, but pay attention to what a person is wearing, and it will give you a very good clue as to what they love. Another thing about gifts is I have a really good friend here. I met her about 20 years ago, and we worked together in our church youth group. And so we've developed a relationship along the way, and I've known her son since he was about 4 years old, and they're getting ready to have a baby. So my good friend is about to be a grandma for the first time, and this boy that I've known since he was little is going to have a little one of his own. And last time when I talked about my cabinet for my yarn, I told you people didn't even realize that I crocheted, and this friend of mine was one of those people. She goes, I didn't even know you did that. She goes, I need a blanket. And because I know her boy, and because I have a love for babies, I said I would love to do that for you. And I said I'll be on the hunt for some patterns and I'll get with you. And so I picked two. And one is just the classic single crochet chevron, which I love. You can't go wrong with a chevron. And another was it was a shells pattern, but it wasn't just, it was a little more, not frilly, it was a little more textured. And I knew what colors I wanted it to be. And so I pulled out these two patterns, and I knew which one. I knew which one I would have chosen. I would have chosen the chevron all day, just because that's kind of me. My friend is not. My friend is all softness and sweetness and loveliness. And she goes, the chevron blanket is really pretty classic, and it's got those clean lines that a lot of girls like today. She goes, but I can't get over the shells, which made me pretty happy. She goes, you choose because I think Mom might like this one, but I really like this one. So you pick the one that you think would be best. And it was a no-brainer for me. I had to go with the shells. Because not only is that gift about who you're giving it to, it's also about how you are. So I needed that gift to not just be about Mom. I needed it to also be about Grandma. So keep that in mind too, that I know as crocheters we put ourselves into our projects, but just the physical crocheting of it isn't necessarily all that has to go into it. That's us. You know what I mean? And I'm probably telling you all stuff you know. So I just want to encourage you today to, if you're not putting yourself into your makes for others, do that. Do that, because that means something too. And now I'm going to show you my last make, because this is also going to that friend of mine who's having the little one. She didn't ask for this. She doesn't know it's coming. But I am actually doing a crochet along. And I don't do crochet alongs because, well, you've been with me for the last couple weeks maybe, and I'm not about projects. I'm generally just not. I'm about the person I'm giving them to. But this crochet along was a baby crochet along over at Stephanie and Christy are doing it. Stephanie's Yarn Escapes and Crochet Creations by Christy. And I knew I was going to be making the baby blanket. I knew I was going to be making a lovey. So I just needed 2 more things to come up with. And I know what my last project is going to be, and I'll have to show you that when I'm done. But this, I hope it comes up, because I know the stitches aren't going to pop the way I'd like them to because it's white. But I hope you get an idea of the loveliness of this little bib. I just thought it was too precious, and it's not at all practical in any way, shape, or form. But sometimes practical goes out the window when beauty's involved, right? And sometimes you make things just because they're gorgeous, and this bib to me is all gorgeousness. So today I'm going to be making another one of these in gray because I just love it so much, and it might just be my new thing because it's lovely. And the next little thing I'm going to make is a little frilly romper. And I've never done anything like that before, so we'll see how that comes out. But I am loving making the baby things. I got a thing for babies. I just do. And you know, I've been using the hashtag #BeLikeYarn, and you know how people say, be the change you want to see in the world and make the difference and be like yarn. Today, I'm going to be like yarn. I'm going to be squishy. When one of the littles hug me, I'm going to hang on until they let go first. That's how I plan on being like yarn today. I'm going to be squishy. And I hope you guys have a lovely day and that you have a great one. And I'll see you soon. Bye.